Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and felt proud of the woman looking back at you? Not just okay with her, not just tolerating her, but proud, because somewhere along the way, many of us stopped feeling that. We started noticing the lines, the gray, the slower mornings, and we quietly began apologizing for them. Not out loud, but inside. In the way we pull back from photos. In the way we say, "Oh, I'm too old for that." In the way we shrink ourselves a little more each year, thinking the world has moved on without us. But what if I told you that everything you've been taught to feel ashamed of, your age, your scars, your softness, your tears, is actually the most powerful thing about you? Brené Brown, one of the world's most respected researchers on vulnerability and human courage, spent over 20 years studying what makes people feel truly alive. And what she found will change the way you see every single one of those years you've lived. Stay with me. This one is for you. If you're watching this, chances are you've spent a large part of your life taking care of other people. Your children, your husband, your parents, your friends, the people at work, the neighbors. You were the strong one, the one who held it together, the one who showed up even when you were falling apart on the inside. And now, maybe the house is quieter. Maybe the children are grown and gone. Maybe you've lost someone you loved. Maybe your body doesn't move the way it used to. Maybe you woke up one morning and thought, "Who am I now? What is my purpose?" That feeling, that quiet, aching question, is one of the most common and least talked about experiences of women in the second half of life. And it does not mean something is wrong with you. It means you are awake. It means you are at the threshold of something real. Brené Brown says that vulnerability is not weakness. She says it is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. And the women who are sitting in that quiet question, you are not at the end of something. You are standing at the very beginning of your most honest, most courageous chapter yet. Let's talk about why. Here's something Brené Brown discovered that stopped me in my tracks when I first heard it. Shame grows in silence and secrecy. It cannot survive being spoken out loud. Now think about how many of us have felt ashamed of aging. Ashamed of a body that has changed. Ashamed of not being needed the way we once were. Ashamed of feeling sad or lost or lonely. Because we think we should be grateful. We should be fine by now. That internal voice that says, "You're too much. You're not enough. You should be further along. You should look younger. You should want less." That voice is shame talking. And here's the psychology behind it. Shame is rooted in our deep, ancient need to belong. Thousands of years ago, being cast out from the group meant death. So our brains evolved to be terrified of anything that might make us unacceptable to others. That includes getting old in a culture that worships youth. But here is the truth Brené Brown gives us. Shame is not a compass. It is not telling you the truth about who you are. It is telling you what you were taught to fear. And the way out, the research-proven way out, is vulnerability. Talking about it, naming it, saying out loud, "I feel invisible sometimes. I feel like I've lost my footing. I feel scared of what's coming." The moment you say it, shame loses its grip. Not all at once, but it loosens. You are not shameful for aging. You are human for feeling afraid of it. There is a difference, and that difference is everything. Many of the women I speak with, women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, carry this deep, exhausting belief, "Sir, I have to have it all together." They perfected the art of looking capable. They raised children without falling apart in front of them. They managed grief with grace. They showed up beautifully to every event, every crisis, every demand. And now, in the quiet of their later years, they feel hollow because they spent so long performing strength that they never let anyone truly see them. Brené Brown spent years researching perfectionism, and what she found is profound. She says perfectionism is not about high standards. It is a defensive move. It is the belief that if I look perfect, live perfectly, work perfectly, I can avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. Think about that for a moment. Perfectionism is armor. It is the shell we build around ourselves so no one can hurt us. But here's what the armor also keeps out: connection, love, joy, and belonging. There is a woman I want you to imagine. Her name is Margaret. She is 67 years old. She spent 40 years being the perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect hostess. And then her marriage ended, and she sat across from her therapist and said, "I don't even know what I like. I don't know what I feel. I've been so busy being perfect that I forgot to be real." See, Margaret's story is not unusual. It is heartbreakingly common. The invitation, and it is an invitation, not a demand, is to put down the armor. To let someone see the real version of you. The uncertain one, the grieving one, the one who doesn't have all the answers. Because that woman, the real, unpolished, fully human woman, is the one people actually fall in love with, including yourself. One of the most quoted and least understood things Brené Brown has ever said is this: true belonging doesn't require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. So read that again slowly. For so many women who grew up in generations where conforming was survival, where you dressed a certain way, spoke a certain way, wanted a certain way, belonging meant fitting in, becoming smaller, agreeing when you disagreed, smiling when you were hurting. And the terrible cost of that is this: you can spend a lifetime surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. Because fitting in is not belonging. Fitting in is, ooh, I'll change myself so you accept me. Belonging is, I am accepted as I am. And here is what the psychology tells us about aging and belonging. Women in the second half of life often face a crisis of identity that is directly tied to this. The roles that define them, mother, wife, professional, shift or disappear. And suddenly, without those roles, they don't know who they belong to, or if they belong at all. But what Brené Brown's research points us toward is this: the path back to belonging runs through you. Through knowing your own values. Through understanding what you believe, what you feel, what you love. Through being willing to be honest about who you actually are, even if some people don't like it. Aging, when we let it, strips away the performance. It takes away the energy we once used to pretend. And what's left, when we stop running from it, is something beautiful. What's left is you, the real you. And she has been waiting patiently for a very long time. Here is a truth that nobody talks about enough. Grief is not just for death. Grief is for all of it. For the life you thought you'd have. For the version of yourself that didn't make it. For the friendships that faded. For the body that changed. For the years that went faster than you were ready for. Women in their 50s and 60s and beyond carry enormous, unacknowledged grief. And because our culture doesn't have a ceremony for it, no funeral, no casserole on the doorstep, they carry it alone, in silence, often mistaking it for depression or failure or ingratitude. Brené Brown says that we cannot selectively numb emotion. This is a piece of science that deserves to live in every heart. When we numb grief, when we stay busy, stay cheerful, stay strong, we don't just numb grief. We numb joy too. We numb connection. We numb the full spectrum of what it means to be alive. Think of it like a dial. You cannot turn down only the painful feelings. When you turn down the dial, you turn down everything, and life starts to feel flat. Gray, like watching the world through a window instead of living in it. The way through grief is not around it. It is not over it. It is through it. Sitting with it, naming what you've lost, letting yourself cry in the car. Letting a friend hold your hand while you say the thing you've never said. You are not weak for grieving. You are brave, because grief is what love looks like after it outlives its container. And the women who let themselves grieve, truly, honestly, openly, are the ones who come back to life on the other side, fuller, softer, more alive than they've been in years. There is this image many of us have of courage. We picture warriors and heroes and people who feel no fear. People who walk boldly into the storm without flinching. But Brené Brown redefines courage in a way that will feel like a hand on your shoulder. The root of the word courage comes from the Latin word cor, meaning heart. And the original definition was this: to tell the story of who you are with your whole heart, not to be fearless, not to have everything figured out, just to show up, wholeheartedly, as yourself. And for women who have been told, by culture, by family, by the quiet cruelty of aging in a youth-obsessed world, that their best years are behind them, showing up is an act of radical courage. Trying the new thing at 63, writing the book at 68, having the hard conversation at 71. Letting someone love you, really love you, after years of walls, that is courage. That is the kind of courage that matters most. Here is a small story. There was a woman, let's call her Ruth. She was 65. She had dreamed her whole life of painting. But life got in the way. And then one day, she signed up for a beginner's art class. She was the oldest person there by 30 years, and she walked in terrified. Her hands were shaking. She thought, what am I doing here? Everyone will see that I don't know what I'm doing. Sick, but she walked in anyway. And that act, that trembling, terrified, courageous act of walking in, changed her life. Not because she became a famous painter, but because she showed up for herself, maybe for the first time in decades. And that feeling of being chosen by yourself is something no one can take from you. You are not too old to be brave. Brave is exactly what you are. I want to close by saying something that I need you to really hear. The world will tell you that your value decreases with age. Advertisers will sell you creams and procedures and promises to look younger, because younger, they suggest, is better. Culture will move fast and loud and often forget to include you. And some days you may feel it. That invisible, crushing feeling of being passed by. But I want to offer you a different truth. One that is backed not just by research, but by the lived experience of countless women who came before you. Your capacity for wisdom, for love, for courage, for connection. It does not peak at 30. It deepens. Every sorrow you've survived has made you more compassionate. Every mistake you've made and owned has made you more honest. Every year you've lived has layered something irreplaceable onto your soul. You are not less. You are more real, more whole, more you. Brené Brown says, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. Your story is long and complicated and beautiful. It is not finished. And the chapters ahead, written by a woman who has finally stopped apologizing for existing. Those chapters could be the most powerful ones yet. You are not invisible. You are not irrelevant. You are not past your time. You are a woman in full possession of your life. And the world needs exactly what only you can give. Before you go, I want to do something together. One of the most powerful things Brené Brown talks about is the act of claiming your story out loud. Not just thinking it, saying it. Because there is something that happens when we speak our truth, even in small ways. It becomes real. It becomes ours. So right now, in the comments below, I want you to type 3 words. Actually, I am reclaiming my peace. That's it. 3 words. Because that's what this is. Every time you choose to see your age as wisdom instead of decline, every time you let yourself feel instead of numb, every time you show up for yourself, you are reclaiming something that was always yours. Write it in the comments. I am reclaiming my peace. And then read the comments left by the other women here. Because I promise you, you are not alone in this. Not even close. If this video reached something in you, please share it with a woman you love. A sister. A friend, your mother. The neighbor who could use a reminder that she matters. And if you want to go deeper, if you want more honest conversations about this season of life, about healing, about what it means to live fully in the second half, subscribe. Because this community is for you. All of it is for you. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself. You've earned it.